Next time you're taking a leisurely stroll through Notre Dame's Cedar Grove Cemetery, you may notice a final resting place that looks a bit different than the others. It's this stone mound, amongst other more traditional headstones, with a big boulder and a plaque attached to it. The plaque reads, Potawatomi Indians, remains transferred to Cedar Grove Cemetery from Old Indian Burial Ground about 1 mile west, September 22nd, 1928. That, to me, became a challenge. Uncover the story behind this grave. But what I found were more questions than answers. Regardless, this marker stands as a quiet reminder that progress unfortunately often cross paths with the people who were here first. My research started with the grave itself. I found a 1932 newspaper article titled Mystery Cloaks Indian Burial Grounds that featured a photo of this very boulder and plaque sitting out in what looked like in the middle of nowhere. Now please remember, as I quote parts of the articles, keep in mind that some of the language reflects the era in which it was written and isn't how we would refer to Native Americans today. The caption on this article claims the graves were moved from a small Potawatomi cemetery on Angela Hill in 1928. Hidden in a thicket and marked only by an iron cross, the burial grounds were relocated to allow for the widening of Angela Boulevard. I could not find any information on a Native American cemetery being moved from the Angela Boulevard area in 1928. But I did find that in January of 1926, workers grading Angela Boulevard near today's North Shore neighborhood uncovered a Native American burial ground. According to the article, the burial ground was located east of what was then Tecumseh Avenue, today's Hillcrest Road, roughly in this area here. Workers uncovered 2 skulls and other skeletal remains beneath mounds marked by an iron cross. Neighborhood children watched the excavation, while the newspaper reported evidence that the graves had already been disturbed. It was another reminder that as South Bend grew, it sometimes built directly over the resting places of those who came before. What makes this story even more fascinating is that these weren't the only remains found here. The newspaper reported that other Native American skeletons had been uncovered nearby during previous construction projects, including the building of North Shore Drive. Well, you know what I had to do. Try to find info on that. And what an article I found. In this area, in 1923, workers extending North Shore Drive uncovered Native American remains. The newspaper said the grave was located about 20 rods west of Iroquois Avenue. That's roughly 110 yards, or about the length of a football field. A skull bearing the signs of a violent injury and a crude axe head were found among the bones, revealing a story that had been buried for generations. I found only 2 other newspaper references to Native American burial grounds in the area. A 1916 article described a forgotten Potawatomi cemetery that was established by Catholic priests and hidden on a bluff north of Navarre Place, while the other noted an old burial ground near the northern edge of North Shore Terrace. Since both references point to the same high ground overlooking the area, there's a good chance they were describing the same site, a burial ground that may have once occupied a part of this very neighborhood. It's also curious to note that right east of where I'm standing, St. Joseph High School stood for 6 decades, and many of you know what their mascot was, the Indians. In the end, I couldn't definitively connect these discoveries to the grave at Cedar Grove Cemetery, and I'd say that the details have largely been lost to time. Like, where was the original cemetery? Who moved the remains? Was there even a ceremony? More than a century later, the mystery remains.